There has been a lot of discussion lately about ChatGPT, especially for writers. And I've been hesitant to jump on the bandwagon because I like writing. I don't want something else to write for me. But I'm writing a book that explores haunted technology, and I knew that it would only make sense to use AI to help write a book about technology. In fact, it would be a disadvantage to write it without any knowledge of how the AI works, at least on a user level. Here is the user interface of ChatGPT. When I first came here, it actually said that all servers were full and that I would have to wait. And I wish I had been recording because it hasn't happened again. Now that I'm logged in, I might get priority over new users, and it may not happen again. It is still interesting to know that when too many people populate the program at once, someone will have to wait, and perhaps write the work themselves. ChatGPT has several prompt suggestions, but I already know what I want to ask. I was stuck on this scene in my book where my character asks her uncle profound questions about technology that he can't answer. The kind a kid would ask you, that are more complex and brilliant than any adult. My brother asked me the perfect question a few months ago, but I forgot to write it down. So I asked ChatGPT to come up with something. I'll let you read along with the text. This is a good story, but these were very predictable questions and not the ones I was looking for. I don't think I'll be using this in my story. Luckily, I did some brainstorming afterward and came up with some great questions. But ChatGPT just wasn't able to help with that. Maybe my prompt was too vague, or maybe this was a hard conversation for AI to have. Either way, it wasn't particularly better than what I could have written on my own. That being said, I could see how someone could take this story and publish it, and nobody would realize they didn't write it. Should authors use AI for their writing? Well, to some degree, a lot of us already do. Grammarly, for example, is an AI that has largely replaced the job of editors. But will AI replace authors altogether? In my mind, no. While this was a sweet, cute story, it oddly lacked authentic emotion. And it was stereotypical. Ultimately, that's going to bore readers. And the more people publish AI stories, the more similar they will be. Because from what I understand, the program basically randomizes details from a bank of data and then fits them into the prompt specifications. Which brings me to a second issue, And that is, does ChatGPT have the right to use the data that they draw from? Sure, it is generic enough that it probably wouldn't infringe on any copyright, but where they get their source data matters. Take the art AI Midjourney, for example. They used source images without crediting or compensating the artists, and now they are in a lawsuit over it. Not to mention, in the case of images, an AI image cannot hold a copyright. This is because of a law that came into action due to the Naruto versus Slater case. It states that an image can only be copyrighted if it was made by a human being. So all of you guys making your book covers with AI generators, your covers are public domain. You don't own them. I don't know how the law pertains to written copyright, whether a non-human created document falls into public domain or not. But I do know that when you take the human out of writing, you also take out the artistry. And that's the fun part of writing for me. The challenge and the flex of genius. Yes, I'll admit, there's a total desire to show off. There is a part of writing that isn't just telling a story. It's a sport. It's a challenge to choose just the right words that have the perfect meaning. If you truly love writing, you will write, regardless of whether a machine could do it for you. And we should not be trying to write faster and faster and faster. Yes, publishing is so exciting, and even a bit addicting. But I like to say that the best books take time to brew. Because if you speed through everything, you will come back later with an even better idea on how the plot could have gone, or how you could have developed a character, but it will be too late. We experience things over the course of our lives that seeps into our writing, and I have had countless times when a certain event gave me the perfect idea for my work in progress. And if I hadn't waited for that experience, my story would have been different and even bland because I didn't know what was possible yet. In the future, I will include a note in my books whether I used AI to produce even a fraction of my story, because I think that will become important as generative AI becomes more commonly used. By the way, most of this video was made with AI. My 3D face used AI to read my expressions onto this model. My keyboard used AI to spell check my script. The only thing that isn't artificial intelligence is me. Or am I?